So today I wanted to tackle judgment. So we're in the midst of the coronavirus. Everybody has been held up and people are getting antsy and causing a lot of protests. And so I'm not even talking about any of that, but what I do want to talk about is this idea that as time rolls on with all of this, maintaining a clear sense of consciousness, because if you're listening to this video, you're someone who's seeking to learn about the more spiritual aspect of what's going on, learning to trust your own intuition, and probably are not really listening too much to the news media whatsoever. So, judgment. It's the idea that the energy that you're exhibiting in that moment is one of flinging. You're flinging your belief systems and trying to smush them onto a situation, a person, or a place. And when we are in that particular emotional body, when we are in that emotional set point, what's happening is you are breaking apart your own conscious connection to that of God, Source Divine. When we have such a fierce calling out of pointing out what's right or wrong, what you're ultimately doing is you're buying into the illusion that you're currently living in. And this is a tough concept unless you really understand the idea that what quantum physics has taught, string theory, it's all teaching us that what we're living in are today's, what parallel reality we're living in today depends upon what we created yesterday and what we believed yesterday and what we put our energy into yesterday. But the great news is that parallel realities are not these huge binary shifts where you're going from living in a coronavirus world to not living in a coronavirus world instantaneously. What's happening is there's these little nuggets that happen. So for me, not spending time sitting in anybody else's fear when it comes to this. So it doesn't matter what the person's belief system or how they're trying to put it into my face. I come back to my center. I come back to that conscious, elevated state in which I realize that if I were to go play with them, I'm flipping into a different parallel reality. If I choose not to play with them and continue on feeling the best possible emotions I can feel in this moment, then my reality is going to look different in the next second, and in the next second, and in the next second. Because if I decide to jump into the judgment of others and what they're feeling or thinking about what the coronavirus is, to all the way to every theory known mankind, is that the minute I jump into that, I've changed parallel realities. And when I allow myself to go read something about it, the minute I start to feel off balance, the minute I start to feel that judgment coming up of whether this is right or wrong or good or bad, I have to either pause and walk away, or I have to remember that this is just one person's parallel reality. It's one person's illusion, however you want to talk about it. And when we can practice, listen, you've got to mandate with yourself to practice feeling better, especially in a situation like this. Because if you don't, you're going to go down this spiral of believing that whatever it is that has been thrown into your face is the absolute 100% truth, then that is what your tomorrow will be. 100%. And that's the great thing of living on planet Earth, is that we all have these opportunities to practice and play within these different realities, even though we're still seeing and existing within the laws of gravity and the law of attraction and the law of the universal one. We each have our own little pockets of belief systems. And the more that you throw judgment into the fire, when you fuel that out there, what happens is that collective of judgment gets bigger. And it's our job to contain that judgment. It's our job to begin to facilitate a new way of thinking, which is independent of any fear mongering, right? Judgment just usually means you're feeling unsafe about something. And that's why you have to fling it outside of you, because even your own body doesn't want to house it. Your body knows, your energetic body knows it can't hold on to the judgment. It has to let it out some way. But what if you could contain that judgment? And what if you began to practice feeling better no matter what? Dealing with what's in front of you is living in the present moment. Most of the stuff that people are flinging judgments at is things that are just created in your mind. It isn't even in your current reality. Most people are at home. It's not affecting you personally in this second. And then I can already hear, but Michelle, it's going to affect my future. No, you're going to affect your future. And how you are playing with and what you're paying attention with is what's going to create your tomorrow. So this is obviously for people who are really looking to stretch themselves beyond what their current reality is, to stretch them on these old belief systems and hopping onto a spiritual plane where you're learning about consciousness, you're learning about parallel realities, you're learning about how to elevate your emotional status so that the whole world, if and when people are ready, can flip into a better feeling place. More of us need to hold this type of a vibration. So I hope that helps today. Don't let judgment define your beliefs. Only let love reign through. Sending you beautiful sun ray blessings.